Well, hi stamping friends, Jackie Bolhuis and Klompen Stampers. I am so excited about today's video. It's a little bit different and it's a little bit longer, but I'm so excited about it because I was able to film it when I was out in Riverton, Utah, the head of Stampin Up, and Sara Douglass, the CEO of Stampin Up, was my guest in my video. She's gonna stamp with me, so you're gonna really wanna watch this one. We had a blast. The video is filled with all kinds of stamping tips. I was so excited. There was even a couple of tips that Sara didn't know that I was able to share with her. And I also have a very special giveaway. You're gonna be super excited. You're gonna wanna make sure that you get a chance at winning the giveaway and getting the tutorials that I have to offer. So make sure you grab your favorite beverage. Like I said, it's a little bit longer, but you're gonna wanna watch the whole video. And as always, any questions, make sure to let me know. But sit back and enjoy the fun that I had doing a video with Sara Douglass. It's Jackie Bolhuis from Klompen Stampers. Now usually I tell you I'm stamping from Zeeland, Michigan, but I'm actually out in Riverton, Salt Lake City area doing today's video, and I have a special guest with me.
Hi everybody, I'm Sara.
I have Sara, the CEO, is that the correct title?
That is the correct title.
Of Stampin' Up. I am out here on a trip. And
what trip?
My $1 million sales trip.
Yes.
So, and one of the things that they asked what I wanted to do, and I said, I want to make a video with Sara. And part of the reason I want Sara is because her style is just like my style. You guys know me, it's all about simple. And I have a fun project to share with you today and share with Sara. Maybe we'll make Sara stamp it.
She's the boss. I'm doing whatever she tells me to do today.
And it's a SIP card, stamps, ink, and paper. Now, if you follow me, you know I do a lot of videos that are my SIP videos because I really believe that that's all you need to get started. You need stamps, ink, and paper, and you can make beautiful cards. You don't need all the stuff. Now, if you're a stamper that has all the stuff or has lots of stuff or likes to buy lots of stuff, don't tune us out because as we go through the video, I have a ton of little tips to share with you. I just shared one with Sara and I can't believe she
I'm
did.
learning new things.
And so there's gonna be a lot of fun tips. And then after I do the SIP card, I'm gonna show you how to step it up and use the exact same stamp set, the same stamping and everything, and we'll step it up a little bit more and add a few more things to it. Because I really believe that cards, they're not any harder, they just take longer and you need more stuff. So we're gonna start real simple. So the stamp set we're using today is called To a Wild Rose. This was a brand new one in the new catalog that came out in June. And this is perfect for SIP cards because it's big and it's bold. Okay, and
I love that. And it has different steps to use, right?
There's different steps. It's actually a 3-step stamp, I guess.
Getting all crazy with the 3-step.
I know. But if you like to color, you can do the 2-step or 3-step, and it's got some great words. So it fills a note card really quick and easy. Now, our first tip before we get into really stamping is, I'll be honest, when I started playing with the stamp set, I struggled. It was not easy to line up. And so I played with it and I finally kind of got the eye for it, but then I struggled going, how am I gonna remember this every single time I stamp with it?
Right.
So what I did is I took the stamps and I matched them up to the case because the way they're printed on the case here, they're gonna line up.
Okay.
So
you do it with all of them?
Yep, I did with all 3
Okay.
of them, and I essentially just set it down there, and then I took my block and I laid it on there straight. Well, wait, before we do that, we're gonna take a Sharpie marker.
Okay.
And it's just kind of eyeballing, but I'm gonna put just a dot at the top of each one.
Okay.
And then when I line this up, I'll just pick it up on the block here. We're gonna, here it comes up. We know it's kind of straight on there with my dot up to the top.
Okay, see, I have to line this one up. You can do that one while I try to figure out how this one goes on there.
So we're just gonna put a dot on the top, and then we'll just pick this one up. We'll move that one down a little bit.
It's right there.
Yeah, that's the tricky one.
This one's
you got the hard one.
Okay, I think I got it.
Okay, so we'll call this the top of the stamp, and you'll see when we go to stamp it, we might have to adjust it just a smidgen,
Okay.
one way or the other. But
at
gives
least
us,
you know which way is up.
Yeah, because otherwise you're doing this number every time you're trying to
with ink on it.
With ink on it and your hands and every place else. So we can set that aside now because we've got our 3 stamps to go. And before we make our card, I have just a piece of scrap paper here, and I want to show you kind of the different kinds of looks you can get with this. 'Cause
Okay.
It's not a one-size-fit-all. So another tip. This is the
I
tip.
did not know this tip.
Will you share how you open stamp pads now?
Okay, so how I open them now? Well, how I normally open them is I just pull it like a compact, you know, with my thumb. But then Jackie was doing this business. What in the world? Flips it back.
You don't get ink on your hands.
I love that.
Especially ones that are a little bit harder to open. It's easier to push with both thumbs on there.
It's a brilliant idea.
So there's the tip. Now with the stamp set, like I said, we'll get our black out too. You can get all different looks. One of them, and I call these the bold, the little bit more detailed, and the very detailed, you know, very whatever, scientific.
So do you start with the bottom one?
Yep, I like to start with the bottom one. Now we got another tip coming up here because I think this is a brand new stamp pad. And when I ink this up, it is a distinctive stamp. And when I stamp on here, and we're gonna give it some good pressure, well, your pad's not too bad, but if you look, there's obviously too much ink. And that's kind of a beast of the distinctive stamps.
Yeah, you need a little bit less ink.
You need a little bit less ink. So we can play the game of trying to be real gentle, but that doesn't work for me. So.
Oh, I wondered why you had this out here. Okay, what are you gonna do with this?
This is the best stamping tool. It has to be part of your stamp room. But when I use a distinctive stamp, or if I try one and I have too much ink on it, I just take my stamp and I move the ink off the pad. So I kind of scrape it one way, scrape it out here the other way. What? And now, when we ink up the same one, and we're gonna pound it just as hard as we pounded before, look at the difference of the image.
Oh!
So whenever,
yes,
yes.
Okay.
So whenever, like any stamps, whether it's these or any ones, if you feel like you're getting just way too much ink,
just kind of move it out.
Move it out of the way. You know, the ink's still there. It's eventually going to go back or whatever, but that's that. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'll let you stamp the flower. We're going to practice here. Now, ink it up, but you want to make sure you put your dot forward.
Okay.
Put your dot up. Okay, now take the next detailed one and stamp that one right on top, but because you have the dot on there, you can kind of see where it goes.
The key is to not get my head in the shot, so.
Look at that! Almost.
It was kind of.
Almost perfect.
Okay, I have to try that again. What the?
Here,
okay.
you can do one on there.
Did you stamp that the other way? Like straight up?
Yeah, that one's straight up. Yeah, both of them are straight up.
Okay.
So you.
I don't know. When you
wait. I'm sorry.
Okay,
you know what I
did?
did?
Hold on. Time out. We got to do that again.
You stamp your own.
Yes. Okay.
There. Now
okay, time out while I put my head over the top of this. I did it again. That's better though.
That's better. And you know what? I always say it doesn't have to be perfect. It's hand stamped. If it was perfect, it wouldn't be handmade. Okay. It's a 3-part, so now you got one more try. That one we're going to put black on top of it.
I have not played with this stamp set yet, so this is good.
It's beautiful. It's big. It's bold.
And it doesn't have to be perfect.
Look at that.
Oh, that like evened my lines out. That made it
The
better.
black really evens it out. So there's a couple of tips for stamping it, and let's go ahead. We're going to grab a note card and envelope, and we're going to make our card for you. Now again, we're going to start very simple. SIP. We have stamps,
and paper,
ink, cardstock. I like to use the note cards and envelopes because you don't have to do any cutting. You have the envelopes.
All done.
Yep. And just another little tip that I get asked all the time is which way do you fold it?
Okay.
The little ridge, because these are scored, you want to always make sure your little ridge goes to the inside, which kind of seems backwards. So if you have a hard time remembering it, it's what you don't think it should be.
Okay.
So we're going to fold it in half, but then we're going to open it back up to stamp it. But at least that way we can kind of see a little bit
where we're supposed to stamp.
Where we're supposed to stamp it. So okay, with the stamp, we're going to go ahead and do the 3-step. So we're going to start with the most bold one and make sure the dot is up, because that way you can
I'm going to turn this one just a little bit. Does that work?
Yep, turn it a little bit, and then you just know the next one you're going to turn a little bit as well.
I'm going to do this one too? Okay. You've got me doing the stamping.
So now we're
no
going
pressure.
The little bit more detailed one. And again, they don't have to be perfect, but that one was pretty good.
Oh, and I turned it just
you turned
barely.
it a little bit, so yep, you got it. Got it.
Close.
Close. And then, but the black fixes everything. Once you put the black on it,
that's what everyone pays attention to, is the black.
Look at that.
There we go.
There we go. We got it now.
I like this set though.
I know. Okay.
Okay.
So after we put the two words, before we put the leaves in it, we want to stamp our greeting.
Okay.
And I have a little tip again for putting our greetings on straight. So we're going to use the blessed. Yeah, this stamp set, the words in here, there's so many different combinations. You can mix and match them around. But I'm kind of funny about I like my stuff straight.
Okay.
And so what I
what's your
do,
trick?
before I put it on the block, I take my block and I line it up on my grid paper.
Okay.
Got to have grid paper. It's a must. So I line it up so it's straight. And I can see through these, so I can go ahead and I can look through there and put it on here straight. And now when I stamp this, I know I can kind of follow an edge of the card, the bottom of the card, the
Gotcha.
top of the card, and it should be pretty straight. So we'll just go ahead and stamp blessed on there.
So I do the opposite. So I can teach you how I do mine. I line up my stamp set on the grid where it's straight.
Oh, there you go.
And then I line my block up on a line too.
On a line.
So
Yep.
same thing, same idea.
Thing. But it's because if it's straight on the block, then it's going to be straight when you go to stamp it. So we'll stamp that one. Perfect.
There we go.
And then we're going to just fill in with some leaves. So with the leaves, I like to actually do the outline first,
Oh, okay,
which
good
is
tip.
opposite. And that just kind of came from from playing around.
Make sure you're inking your stamp on the right color.
Yeah. Well, it's okay to, mix them up a
Does
little
it
bit.
matter where these go?
Nope, I just kind of filled in wherever there was room to take up some of the white space.
I think I want to cover up my mistake right there.
But that's kind of the beauty of this stamp set, is because it's so big and bold, it doesn't take a lot to fill the card. And when you're not doing a lot of layers and a lot of stuff, you want to just fill it up.
I think I filled it.
I think you filled it. Add a little bit of green with the detail. And this one's easy, you don't have to
I was
line
going to say,
it.
this
Yep.
one, that looks okay.
That one lines up really easy. And as Sarah's finishing up the leaves on there, again, the stamp set has so many different greetings, so you can really mix and match as far as what you want to put on
I like
there.
that.
Now, the other thing, you always have to stamp the inside of the card. Inside should be just as pretty as the outside.
Okay,
But
I'm
we're-
learning something new today.
Because, this would be really boring if you got it in the mail like that. So we're going to just play with the beauty of video.
Okay.
And we'll go to our sample here, and you'll see where the inside is stamped.
Oh.
So again, it's from the same stamp set. Here's our same flower. Everything's the same on there. But then you always, always, always have to go one step further. And my followers know this because I get yelled at if I don't do this.
Okay.
You have to stamp your envelope.
My mom says never a naked envelope.
Never a naked envelope.
Yes.
That's exactly what I say. And again, beauty of TV. We're going to just go ahead and pull out these cards. So what I have here, I've taken some of the note cards and envelopes, and I've packaged them together and just stuck them in a little cello bag. Makes the perfect gift. You don't have to do any fancy tag or anything, just wrap some ribbon around it. But all of these cards have the envelopes, all stamped.
Uh-huh.
And
And
then-
different greetings.
And different greetings. So I just mixed them up. Blessed and grateful. So we always want to do the inside and the envelope. So here we took the greetings that was on the
I like that.
inside. So they're just kind of mixed up. Didn't put anything on the inside other than the flower.
More space to write. Oh, look at that one's different. Okay, so that's just a background.
So now with this one, we just used the two stamps. We didn't put the black on it. But look at the different look you get with that flower. It's completely different.
It looks like a designer series paper.
It does, and it's very soft. It's very, and then this one, we just used the outline, but in the colors,
All with the same set.
all with the same set. So this set of note cards here is just the same stamp set. So our stamps,
a
our
few
ink
colors.
is 3 pads, and paper, our note cards and envelopes that are always stamped to coordinate. Now this one, I did fancy this one up just a smidgen,
Oh.
and I cut the flower out. You can get, this does come as a bundle so that you can purchase this and save 10% and get the bundle with it. But especially those that are beginners and you may not have a die cutting machine or you're not ready to jump into the dies, it does cut very easy with the scissors. And if you're just starting and you only have the note cards, when you goof on one, because trust me, I goof on plenty of these, well, it still gives you all the cardstock that you can use to stamp on and cut out.
layer it up.
So you can layer it up on that. But here we just used the white and just added the little bit to the center of it.
Oh, I love that.
Now, we have a bunch more tips we have to share.
Should I close these
So
up?
yeah, let's just move some of this away. So back to the original card that, well, we tried to make.
We did pretty good.
We did pretty good. You'll notice there's also baker's twine on this. Now that, we've gone above and beyond the sip here. We've added just a little bit of baker's twine. But what's really fun about the baker's twine is we now really only carry it in white. And at first I'm like, no, you can't get rid of all my baker's twine. But then I realized I now have baker's twine in every single color I ever wanted. So, you know what we didn't do is we didn't tell them what colors we were using on this. So I'm going to let you pronounce this one.
Okay, so we used Rococo Rose and Pear Pizzazz.
So, very good. I struggle saying Rococo Rose. And I always want to say Rosé because that's like one of my favorite wines.
Oh, well, you can call it that. Everyone will know what you mean.
But to color the baker's twine, all I did was I took a little jar of water.
Okay.
And I took my baker's twine, and I just wanted to do a bunch at a time, so I just wrapped a whole bunch. This stuff's cheap. You know, you add it onto every single order, and you have stashes of it. So color a bunch at one time.
Okay.
And I took my re-inker, and I put 20 drops.
Okay.
And I don't know if that's overkill or not. So 1, 2, 20-ish. Close enough.
But a good mixture.
Just a good mixture. And then we use
your spoon's going to come
our
handy.
spoon, you know, that you have to have in your stamp room. Mix it up. And then all I did was I dropped my baker's twine down. We can use our spoon again to kind of stick it down in there. And then when I was doing this at the same time, I did the polka dot. The polka dot colors beautifully as well. Spooled it up, and then I just set this jar aside for a couple hours, took it in my bathtub and pulled it out because it was kind of messy. Hung it over some hangers so it
would dry.
dried.
Okay.
And then I just wrapped them on a piece of cardstock. So I have these all ready to go now with the Rococo Rose, the, help me Sarah, because I don't know the new colors, Peacock.
A pretty peacock.
Pretty peacock, and
there's the
terracotta tile.
Yep.
There we go. So these are just going to sit in my stamp room, and I'll eventually work on dyeing a whole bunch more, so I always have the colors I need.
That's so smart.
You can see here I used a piece of the Rococo Rose.
Oh, and look at that card.
Dot. Yeah. But before we show them this one, we need to start with stepping it up just a little bit.
I want you to get that on your cards.
So we started by showing them a SIP card.
Yep.
So these cards here, there is nothing different on these. The stamping is exactly the same, but we've stepped it up by using some colored cardstock.
And so the same colored cardstock, it's pretty.
The same colored cardstock. This is before I dyed the baker's twine, so that's on there already. We have to stamp the inside.
That is a Jackie rule.
And the envelope.
Okay.
So, but really the only difference, we cut some color cardstock. And that just shows you how it's not any harder. It's just going to take you a little bit more time because you got to cut a little cardstock. Now, for those of you that like these cards, I will have down in the description of the video a link to go over to the blog post, and I'll have pictures of all of these cards along with the card recipes. So you'll know how to cut for all of these and all the supplies we used.
So no sweat.
Yep, no sweat. Make it nice and easy for you. So you can see here it's the same as the note card one, but once again, added some layers, but it's just
and this
the
one's
outline.
is that a crumb cake?
Yep, and that one's on crumb cake. And I think it just changes the feel of it. Got to do the inside and the envelope.
No naked cards.
No naked insides, no naked envelopes. So this one's very similar to what we stamped, but we just added a layer on here and embossed it just to change it up a little bit.
I love this one.
Yeah.
Black and white's kind of my thing.
Black and white. Not any harder. Just took a little more time. And again, the inside is stamped the same way.
And kind of a fun technique to do embossing on it.
I do a lot of black and white for greetings. And then this is probably my favorite of this set of cards. So again, this is like the one we showed earlier, but you can see this flower is different because we only used that middle stamp. So you've got a little bit of white going on there with the black.
Totally makes it pop.
Yeah. So here again, this was just using the stamp. So we don't have a die cutting machine involved here. We don't have the dies. We don't. But you know what? We got a lot of crazy stampers out there that need everything. And
they're collectors.
They're collectors. So for those of you that like to have a lot of stuff, like the dies, like to do a lot of putzing, like I like to call it.
Okay.
Don't you putz when you stamp?
Yeah, sure.
You putz. No, your mom would putz more. These are probably more Shelley cards. But when you have the dies, this set of dies comes with some really cool, you get this
kind of the frame?
Label, the frame, which is stitched, and then also the leaves and this fun piece. You get a lot of different options to put with your cards. You can see where I just used the background on there. And again, instead of fussy cutting now,
you use the dies.
You use the dies to cut them out. But again, not any harder, just more stuff. So the inside is still stamped.
It's kind of the process. The creative process gets to kind of grow from there.
Kind of grow, yeah. So a beginner stamper, like I said, you don't need a lot of stuff. You just take a sip, stamp, ink, and paper. And then as you buy more stuff,
then you can have a little bit more fun, more layers,
exactly,
more additions to your cards.
So, and I just have one more set of cards to show.
I love all of these cards though. So you just grab these sets and you just start making. And
I
just
do.
Make in bulk.
Yep, and I like to make I guess in bulk, but show how, again, you don't need a lot of stuff. You only need a couple ink pads, and you can make some beautiful cards. Now with these, I did the exact same layout on all of these, but I wanted to feature the new in colors, because we all love brand new in colors.
Oh, I love them.
Here we've got a lot of the new in color products. We've got the new designer series paper. We've got the embellishments that I'm not sure exactly what they're called.
But you can find them.
But you can find them. They'll be on my blog along with a link to order them. I love the linen ribbon and how that coordinates with it. And then I just stamped the flowers in the different colors. And if you're looking really close and you're observant, you might notice how this flower is white, which actually, I like the black and white look of that card.
I like that one too.
But for those of you that may not know already, currently this color we're not able, Purple Posy, we're not able to get right now because there were some manufacturing issues with it, which I'm so glad that, one of the beauties of what you guys do, if something doesn't meet your quality standards,
we have to make sure it meets those.
Yeah, so
those
eventually
standards,
this color will be available.
That's the hope.
Yeah.
We'll fix it and be ready to sell it again.
But otherwise, I love the new in colors. So with that, guys, thank you so much for watching and allowing Sara to kind of be part of my video today.
Thank you for inviting me. This is my pleasure.
Yeah, and like I said, there will be a link down in the description of the video. You can hop on over to the blog. There'll be, we'll have pictures of all the projects that I've shared along with all the supplies and dimensions and everything you need, so if you'd like to place an order. And if you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would love to be that person. Me, not you.
You. I pointed at you.
But I'd be happy to send you a free catalog and help you with any of your stamping needs or answer any questions you do. So until I get to stamp again with you, I always sign off with some certain words.
Okay, what do we say?
Have a stamp happy day.
Have a stamp happy day.
Thanks.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, thanks.
Well, what'd you think? Did you fall in love with To a Wild Rose as much as I've fallen in love with it? Tell you guys, I have made so many different cards with it that I can't even begin to post all of them on my blog. So what I decided to do is put together a tutorial. Now it's quite a few pages long because I made so many cards with it. But if you purchase this To a Wild Rose stamp set from me, after you purchase it, send me an email and I will send you completely free the tutorial for all of the cards that I showed in the video. You'll be stamping forever with this stamp set. And here's the best part. I have an extra set of the stamp set, To a Wild Rose, that Sara and I each signed after we used it to make this video. And I want to give it away to one lucky viewer. So what I'm going to do is do a random drawing from everybody that leaves a comment on this video by June 20th. And then we'll just do a random drawing and we'll post over on the Facebook page who the winner is. So make sure you follow me over there as well. Make sure you leave your comment here so that you get a chance to win the autographed copy from Sara and myself. So it'll be just kind of a fun thing for me to send out to you. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Like I said, a little bit longer than normal, but I hope you picked up on all of the stamping tips. And again, hop on over to the blog. I'll have pictures of some of these cards along with more information as to how you can get the tutorial. So until I stamp with you again, have a stamp happy day.